Hello everyone. Sorry for the late stream. I just got home from work like 20 minutes ago. And I need to talk about this game. I need to talk about Metroid Prime 4. I have feelings, I have opinions. I'm gonna raise the game volume a little bit so you can hear it more because the music's really good. That should be good. Let me know how that sounds. I'm gonna try not to take too long here. I don't want to be on streaming for hours, just maybe like a 45, 60-minute stream. I don't know. Say that now, but you know. Outer Wilds music always. Yeah, I know. I know. Oh, I forgot to turn on my other lights. It's a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, sorry for the late stream. It's like 6:30 p.m. for me almost. I finished. Oh, I let it idle for too long. I finished Metroid Prime 4 yesterday. Played it whole weekend straight. As I've talked about before on the streams and in the Doom video and stuff, I sort of talked about things. I spoke about how I was a bit worried about Prime 4 because it looked like it was just going to be another Metroid Prime game with no changes to what I find to be significant problems that the original games have. And to be clear, I think the first Metroid Prime is a very good game. I don't think it's a great game. And then Prime 2, I think, is like almost as good. It's a little bit. I don't know. Prime 3, I tried to play Prime 3 again, like a week before Prime 4 came out. I just wanted to give it a try, like play it again. Hadn't played it in a while because I'd played Prime 1 a bunch. I've played Prime 1, probably at least like 4 or 5 times, including the remaster. And that's across like the GameCube version, the Wii version, and now the remaster. Prime 2 I've played twice, I think. Prime 3 I played once years ago, and I played it and I was like, wasn't a big fan of that, whatever. So I booted up Prime 3. I brought out the Wii U and everything. I brought out the Wii U. I had the trilogy version digitally through when they released that like a long time ago. And I was like, no, you know what? I have it physically. Like, I bought it physically a while ago because I didn't grow up with like the Prime games. They don't hold like that kind of nostalgic connection to me. I didn't really get into Metroid in general until, I was a teenager. And I started with like Super and stuff. And even then I was like, yeah, Prime's good, but I wasn't like grabbed by it like I was with the far better 2D games. And yeah, so I got out the physical disc of Prime 3, put it in, played it, and I was like, doing to the intro, like falling asleep. Granted, it was like a Friday night, I was tired, but the game was like literally boring me so much that I was falling asleep. So I just turned it off. Like, I think I got to, is it Norian? Or whatever the first, like, the intro planet is, where, like, Ridley shows up. I didn't even get to Ridley. It was like, I got the grapple lasso, and then it was like, use the motion control, open the door, and I was like, dude, I can't do this, I'm going to sleep, and I stopped playing. So I don't think very highly of Prime 3. So when Prime 4 is coming along, and it's got a lot of Prime 3 isms, and like worse stuff from that, I was worried. I was worried. And like even when I made the Doom video and I just said it looked like another Metroid Prime game because at that point we didn't know about all the other stuff. Yeah, like that was before we knew about the bike. When I saw the bike in that Nintendo Direct, I was scared because I immediately went like, oh my god, no, Metroid Frontiers. I don't want that. That is not what I want from this series. The thing every Metroid fan was worried about after Breath of the Wild was like, please don't make Metroid Prime 4 have like Korok style shrine challenge things across a big open map. And that's kind of what they did. Sort of, a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. And then obviously like the characters, and we start seeing like the talking characters and junk, and that was not great at all. And so that was worrying me, but I was still excited to play the game because I was, it's like, how often do you get a new Metroid game? And I loved Dread. Like, I have issues with Dread, and I spoke about it in my video on it. The 2021, like, guessing it was Metroid Frontiers. Kind of. I'll probably like play a bit of the game sort of in the background while I'm talking about it. Right now I just want the ambience of the main menu while I try to collect my thoughts. Because I have so much to say, but here's the thing. In short, like I'm not gonna go in it. I am gonna talk about spoilers, but I'm gonna save it for a little bit just so people can come in and get an idea. Was Samus portrayed well as a character? No. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into like specifics and load up my like save file until I'm like, okay, spoiler time. But honestly, to be honest, there's not a lot. There's not a lot to spoil, really. Like, Metroid Dread had like amazing moments and cool gameplay stuff to figure out, and be like, whoa, you can do that, wow, and like, oh, this cool like story moment thing. Prime 4 doesn't have that at all, to be honest. Sorry, I'm trying to, this is the thing, this is why I was worried about like streaming, so I'm like, I'm gonna be jumping around, I'm gonna have so many different thoughts in my head that I'm trying to get out to talk about. The game is not bad. This is not a bad game. I do not want people to think, oh, he hates this game. Metroid Prime 4 totally sucks. Awful, like, horrible, irredeemable game. Absolutely not. Hello, Rat on a Toilet. Thank you for the free commission for me on Steve's stream last weekend. Yeah, again, I'm expecting people will come back and listen to this as, like, a VOD thing later. Just like a condensed little podcast thing of me talking about the game, kind of. Which is why I'm trying to stay on topic, so people listening back to this, not live, aren't getting pissed off, so I'm sorry in advance, VOD viewers. The game is not bad, but it is not very good either. You know, like, at least Prime 1 and 2, in spite of how, like, rigid the movement and the traversal and the combat is, like, at least those games give you stuff to, like, think about while you're playing. You still have to navigate the world. Because here's the crucial thing that I was thinking about today. I don't think what ruined Prime 4, well, I mean, ruined is a strong word, but what brought it down so much, I don't think it's really the bike and the desert and the characters and stuff. Those are really bad. Like, I do think those are really awful inclusions, and they should not have been in the game. They absolutely should not have. But what ruins the game is the level design and the lack of gameplay alterations over the original trilogy. The level design is so linear. Like, every single area is so linear. It is just hallways. And just doors and hallways. That's it. Like, that's the whole game. And so when it makes you backtrack, it's like so forced. So here's an example, which okay, so there's a part in the game where I got an upgrade thinking I could go use it somewhere else, but then Miles McKenzie chimes in on the radio, unwanted, telling me like, oh, maybe you should go over here and upgrade your suit. I won't be like super specific, but again, there's not a whole lot to spoil. We're getting slightly into spoiler stuff now. So I was like, oh, I didn't think I'd have to go do that, but okay, like, I wouldn't have thought to do that had he not told me. So, like, that's not a great sign for the progression of the game. Which, again, this is a problem going back to Prime 1. The way Prime 1 makes you jump around the map with those, like, oh, activity detected in this sector sort of thing, where it's like, you wouldn't really... Once you've played it once or twice, you can kind of get to grips with it, but, like, you wouldn't think to backtrack that way in Prime 1 without the game telling you. And Prime 2 as well, I think, because it's just kind of like, what? I have to go all the way back over here now? Oh, that doesn't feel very natural. I wouldn't think to go back there right now in an organic way, you know, whereas the 2D games, I don't think they have that problem. But yeah, so I go back to this area. There's a little device that I go in a morph ball to activate. A thing happens, cutscene plays, my suit gets upgraded, that's it. I'm done. I leave the area. And to be clear, the areas in this game are not like this is not a Metroidvania, really. This is not a Metroid game, like in terms of structure and again, like level design and stuff. This is a linear, like gated off, like kind of Zelda style thing where the main areas are on the corners of the map, and they do not connect. It's not even like Prime 2 where they sort of connect with like an outer ring that links them together. There is one entrance into every part of the map. You need the bike to use. And it's just like, why would you like this? And so then when you have to go back to those areas, you got to go all the way across the desert and go all the way into that region and go all the way down to get get an item you missed or something. And it's awful. Like every time I saw something, I was like, oh my god, I have to come back for that. And then the game would do this thing that really pissed me off, where there would be like an upgrade somewhere I went back to get, and I was like, cool, I've come back, I have the right power up now, I can do this, nice. There was one in the map with the Federation debris out in the desert, where there was a like a thing I had to shoot with like the, okay, we're slightly in spoilers now, vaguely minor spoilers, like power up spoilers. You get different elemental shots in this game. You don't get beam upgrades, you get different shots. They use ammo. It's fine, it's whatever. There's like fire one, an ice one, a lightning one. And then you have the missiles. Came back with the lightning shot, the thunder shot, whatever, to... Oh, hello, my controller turned off. To shoot this thing, to activate it. So I do that. And I'm like, cool, and I can get this thing. And then the thing comes out, and it's a grapple beam point. I don't have the grapple beam yet. And I was like, how was I supposed to know? Actually, I might have some examples on here. Oh, sorry for the HDR, kind of blowing things out. Yeah, sorry, some mild spoiler things on here. I think I took a screenshot. Yeah, so this is one in Vault Forge, the second major area of the game. I came back with the grapple lasso, because I needed that to open this. And the grapple lasso is a separate upgrade from the grapple beam, which I think Prime 3 did as well, and I still think that's really stupid. I come back, I open this thing, alright, give me the power up. Oh, it needs the electric shot power that I don't have. How was I supposed to know that? So now you've just wasted my time twice. That pisses me off. Like, that is just really annoying design. Oh, I think I just took a picture of this because I thought Samus looked funny on the bike because it's floating. Again, we're in more spoilery kind of area here, so just you know, keep that in mind. Oh, okay, this is a boss towards the end of the game. It's not the final boss, but it is a boss towards the end of the game. Also, look at all these Kirby Air Riders pictures. This game's great. Kirby Air Riders is awesome. That's the best game on Switch, too. I tried to make a horrible Motobug custom vehicle that didn't look great. This is a boss towards the end of the game that I actually was so annoyed by, I just looked up what I was doing wrong. So, okay. See that? It has a glowing weak spot on its chest. It's a Metroid, which again, the Metroids are not used in this game at all. There's no like explanation for it. The Metroids aren't like common enemies. I heard a great point from, I forget how to pronounce the name. It's like a Norse god, a Greek god or something. Ratotska, I forget. He just released his own video on Prime 4, I think. I have to watch it later. He's been streaming Prime 4 and talking about it a lot, and he's feeling really upset about it too. And he said, wouldn't it make more sense if the Metroids were like enemies in the game as well, and they could like, the Metroids could go into the enemies and then the enemies would like power up, kind of like the X-Parasites a bit. You know, that could have been like a cool gameplay thing, but instead it's just you find a boss and the boss already has a Metroid fused with it. You never fight normal Metroids, you never see them again outside of the opening of the game. Even though I think in the opening they're Mocktroids from Psylocke. But whatever, all the bosses follow this thing, we have to shoot the weak point. This one's in the chest, and you'd think when it does this attack, like that, as it's rearing up with its arms, and you can see the weak point, oh, shoot it. Now, I kept doing that, and you can see I've got its health down most of the way. Like, obviously it was working somewhat, but you can also see I have, like, no ammo left, because it was taking so much, because the shot was, like, half the time it wouldn't land. Or, sorry, like 90% of the time it would not land. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong in this stupid boss? Like, I keep shooting the weak point and it's barely doing anything. And I'm like free aim, you know, I'm like trying to aim properly and it just wasn't working. And then here I die right at the end of like this 10-minute slow, boring boss fight. And like all the Metroid Prime boss fights are kind of like that. They're slow and boring. You're just waiting around for a weak point. And it's like, come on, come on. But this one was bad. And I had to look it up, and it was like, oh, you're supposed to shoot his arms to make him stagger. And the whole time, the boss has no tell for that. The scan doesn't say anything. When you shoot its body, nothing happens. Like, it flashes yellow to show that, yes, you hit it, but it didn't do anything. Like, it's not communicated clearly. To me, that is saying, like, yeah, the shot landed, but it didn't do anything because it's armored. And you have to shoot it a lot in one arm to make it stagger. So I was like, how was I supposed to know how to shoot the arm? Like, and then once I did that, it was easy. And I was like, well, why, why didn't the game tell me that? This clip here, I think I saved because I just got the last mech part, which is towards, you need this towards the end of the game. And I didn't know where this last one was because I'd already explored the whole map and it didn't mark this part on the map for me. So I was like, I thought I got all of them already. Like, where's the last one? And then I used the radio and Miles McKenzie, he's like, make sure you check the Federation debris. I was like, well, I already got all of them. It hasn't marked which ones I have done, so I don't know which one I haven't done. And then also there was one that wasn't here on the map. It was somewhere else, like in the lava area. Which, like, I figured out, but it was like, well, that's not very consistent with what he's saying. But then, so I've already got all the parts. And then something happened here, which really annoyed me. Where I was like, how does the game not check for this stuff properly? Yeah, this.
If we can fix the mech, we can break down the force field around Chrono Tower. All you have to do now is find the missing mech parts and send them my way. I'll be on standby.
Like, I just got the last piece, and then he's telling me, oh, make sure you get the mech parts. Like, yeah, dude, I already got them all. Like, what do you want? Like, what's your problem? Oh, here was my final completion. So initially, I was going to try and go for 100%. Just as, like, you know, I'm not really enjoying the game, but I'll see how I go. But it was just, eventually I'm not doing this. I can't do this. Like, after the mines level, it was so bad and so boring. I was like falling asleep playing it. I was like, I am not going back to get 100%. I say that, and now I guess I'll boot up my save file and just wander around and talk for a bit. For some more interesting. I backed up my save before I finished the game because I heard that it like locks you out like the other Prime games do. So I made sure to back it up first. Let me move OBS over and actually put the switch up on my TV so I can see better. The HDR is on, so it might look a little weird on the stream, but you know, whatever. But yeah, my biggest issue really with the game is just that, like, it is boring. I was really bored playing this game. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my layout here. Does the bike have cool movement, or is it just driving simulator? It has, like, the bare minimum of what I would describe as cool movement. And let me be really clear here, this game is, like, gorgeous. Like, this game is, what's wrong button, is really, really pretty. And the music is excellent, but just the gameplay really, like... So, before I forget, I want to read my review I put on Backlogged, just to sort of summarize my points overall, and then I'll probably remember something I want to say. So, I gave it 3 out of 5 on Backlog, so like 6 out of 10. Again, don't, you know, numbered scores, whatever. This could be like a 2.5 out of 5 for me, maybe. Right now it's even with Prime 3. I don't know, here's the thing, like, I forget if I said this already, but like, if I made a proper video on this game, I would have to play the game again to get footage. I don't want to play the game again. Not because it's bad. There's bad stuff in it, but because it is boring. I was bored. And the reason I was bored is this map. Every single area in the game is this. It is like a big hallway. Like, I mean, this kind of looks like there's a bit more going on, but not really. It's like there's one path that takes you down to the next level, and then that is kind of just a bunch of hallways. Then you go down again, bunch of hallways. Like, it doesn't really... You're just like, no, I'm not thinking. The game is like disengaging my brain because nothing is making me think, oh, where am I going to go? Oh, I'm going to use this, you know. Here's a big point I want to make. I know I was going to read my backlog review. I've already gone off track. If I was going to make a video on this game, I would present an argument with like a graph. I would say the three main pillars of Metroid to me are exploration, platforming, and combat. I would say atmosphere as well, but atmosphere kind of is exploration relevant, but also kind of encapsulates all of those things. Atmosphere is kind of the thing on top that goes across all of the pillars. Now, I would say usually exploration is the tallest pillar, and then platforming and combat are just a little bit below, kind of equal. Now, obviously, in the Metroid Prime games, platforming's down quite a bit. Combat is kind of similar, and exploration is still mostly the main thing. But like, they've all kind of been bumped down a bit from the 2D games that are up here, right? Like, the Metroid Prime games are inherently a bit more linear, and there's less to do with the gameplay. The power ups are very rigid. The combat's very rigid, very simple, very basic. It's like good enough for a GameCube game. Like it's like okay, whatever, fine. Kind of disappointing they never really improved on it in those games, but this was their chance to do that. I hated the mines. Oh, I did not like the mines. That was bad. The mines were very, very boring. So this is the thing, it's like, I don't want to go all the way back down this thing just to get a couple power-ups. Like, that's not worth it to me. It's just boring. Anyway, with this game making the exploration basically non-existent, at no point did I feel like I was exploring. I was just being guided around, told where to go. Samus, maybe check the map, and like, that kind of thing. And just I'm just gated off. I can't go anywhere. Like the map is so straightforward. And there's even a part in like the lava area you walk in. There's a door that just won't open. So I'm like, okay, I go forward, then like a cutscene plays, a bridge breaks. I can't go that way. Then I go back, and then that door is magically open. That wasn't open before. That's like other M stuff. I don't like that. When you have those three pillars, exploration, combat, platforming, and you bring exploration all the way down, basically non-existent now, you need to bring up the combat and the platforming to compensate. Maybe I would be okay with a more linear Metroid game. In principle, I wouldn't, but like maybe I'd be okay with it if the combat and the platforming limit each other. You're exploring a world, you explore by platforming and by fighting enemies. And you fight enemies by platforming around them as well. You jump around them and you aim, especially in Dread, because you have free aim and you have the melee counter where you can kind of run and parry and then run around and jump. You are using platforming to engage in combat, to explore. These things all complement each other. And you beat bosses to get new power-ups to help you explore, to help you platform. The power-ups aren't just keys. Can I just say I'm so grateful for Skill Up's video. Oh my god, he actually like said what I was thinking about the game, like really strongly, and I was really grateful that like there's big people out there saying the things I've been saying about Metroid Prime for like a decade, and I feel like no one's been listening. It's fine because Prime has always been like this. Yeah, see, like, I don't like that because I don't like how Prime's always been. I think it should be better. And also, just like, this is the worst it's been in terms of the world design. Like, even Prime 3, I didn't like the way the map was split up on planets. But, like, at least when you were on each planet, you could, there was still, like, stuff to kind of do a bit. Yeah, this game, it did not bring up the combat and the platforming. They stayed where they already were, which was very low. So the exploration's brought all the way down, and the combat platforming is still really bad. So you're just left with like this nothing kind of game because like there's not like what can I do? I can jump, I can double jump, I can go in morph ball and jump and morph ball bomb jump. I mean I have the grapple beam, but like I can't use it. It's like context sensitive. It only works if there's points around to use it on. I have the boost ball, which like I ended up spamming a lot just to try and get around faster. Outer Wilds reference. like the movement sucks and the combat is lame. The only like new ability in the game is this like psychic beam thing that sucks. Why would I ever want to use this? Like, this is so boring. I only ever used this when it was like I needed it for a puzzle or for a boss fight or something. See ya, Nikika. Yeah, sorry for the late stream. I'm not going to stream for super long. Yeah, and the characters fucking talk to you all the time whenever you, like, walk out of the room or whenever you come back in. It's so annoying. See, but then, okay, so, like, when I started the game, and I was in this area after the big bombastic opening, and I was just exploring around, I was listening to, well, again, not really exploring, it was very linear, but I was like, okay, fine, I'll tolerate it for the beginning of the game. And I was just hearing this music, and I was looking around, like, whoa, cool, oh, are we gonna go to that big tree? No, you don't go there. You know, I was just soaking it all in, like, wow, this is really impressive, this looks great, sounds great. You know, it feels like they kind of nailed the Metroid Prime feeling a bit. Also, these platforms, what a shit power-up. It's so, I hate stuff like that. And then I get the pop-up. Ooh, Galactic Federation distress signal detected. And I went, oh, no. No, I forgot about him. I forgot about Miles McKenzie. I forgot he was in the game up until that point. Like, I wasn't thinking about it. I was just like, wow, great atmosphere. Oh, I really liking this game. And then the thing popped up with him, and I went, God fucking damn it. Shit. And, like, he's terrible. This is, like, another case of a game that, you know, this has happened many times with me. I think Doom the Dark Ages might be the only semi-exception to this, where I can see the writing on the wall before the game comes out. I can see the problems. They are obvious. The only reason you shouldn't panic is just the idea of, like, maybe they'll show more. You know, the whole time I'm like, they haven't shown a lot of this game. They haven't marketed it. I don't know if Nintendo's trying to hide it to make it, like, a big surprise, or if they just don't want to market the game because they think it's bad. And then the game comes out, all the things I was worried about, the lack of new power-ups and, like, utility and platforming and movement, that's exactly what I was worried about. The desert sucks, the bike itself doesn't suck, but the desert you drive around the bike in sucks. And the characters suck, and the story sucks, and yeah, and the Samus as a character as well. She just never talks, she doesn't do anything. She just stands around and maybe nods at people sometimes, and, like, that's it. She doesn't act like a character in this game whatsoever. And I know they're afraid of Other M. I get it, but, like, Samus is still a human being who has, like, thoughts and feelings and can speak. And it was fine to have her not talk in, you know, Prime 1 and 2 when there weren't other characters around. It got kind of weird. Thank you, Brisbane Productions, and hello, Matsujaki. It got kind of weird in Prime 3 that she wasn't talking to anyone either. And then now in this game, it's, like, really weird. You have all these characters talking to her all the time, and she just, like, never says anything. It's really strange. One thing they improved from the other games, the ice beam actually makes things drop to the floor now. Well, it's not an ice beam if you guys shot, but they actually drop. They don't just float there. Yeah, here's the bike. And we're gonna go out to the desert. Yeah, Samus had more, yeah, like, acting in Prime 3. And they also weren't afraid to show her, like, out of the suit a little bit. Oh my god, what?
Have you gathered everything you need? And all we have to do is travel to Chrono Tower together.
Yeah, I
Come
know.
back to base camp when you're ready.
I know. I was just there. Oh, and then these prompts pop up that you pretty much, like, have to do. Like, you can't get rid of them because they just stay there on the screen. Yeah, this is the desert, guys. Really cool desert. Yeah, like Prime 3, the opening, you see Samus, like, out of the suit on her ship. And then, like, the suit materializes around her and she puts it on. But, like, since Prime 1, you could see her eyes through the visor. You never see that in Prime 4, ever. The whole time, her eyes are completely obscure. Dread let you see her eyes through the visor as well. Like, I don't understand why they stopped doing that for this game. And, like, Samus has a face. You can see it when you open the map. Oh, did it not appear then? The fuck? Hold on. What about now? Okay, it's hard to see because I think the map is really bright. Yeah, you can kind of see her eyes open up. And when you like shoot like there, again it's hard to see because they're out the bright data. But you know, you can see her face in the reflection. And you can see her face in the 100% ending. So it's like they have this stuff and they just don't use it. So Samus is always just completely just dead, stone face, never says anything, never does anything. In the whole game, it's really awkward. It's really weird. Yeah, the only like kind of fun thing about the bike is, you know, maybe you'll go off like a sand dune and like woo, and you can kind of like tilt it, you know. But there's no reason to. There's like nothing to do out here. So every single time I had to go anywhere, I was like, oh my god, go on the bike, drive around. No Zero Suit Samus? No. You get Samus with a helmet off, but no Zero Suit. I don't think there's even concept on it. Which, like, fine, I don't know, but it's just weird. I'm like, why are they so afraid? Because like Dread had that too, where like you didn't really like, you saw her face and stuff in the visor, and you see like the artwork of her and the 100% image, but like that's it. I was kind of like, come on, man. Like, especially when in Dread she became a Metroid, I was kind of interested in like, has that affected her physically, like under the suit? Surely, heck, 'cause you only see her in the suit. See, this is also okay. Here's another big issue I have. In a Metroidvania, especially, you know, I think of Silk Song, which came out this year. Silk Song was fantastic. I had a lot of issues, small issues with it. I think it's very padded out needlessly with like side activity stuff. But Silk Song, when you get a power up and you use it to go somewhere you couldn't go before, or like activate something you couldn't do before, it usually, you know, you get like a new thing to do. I loved Dread, Couch Cushion. I think Metroid Dread is fantastic. It's maybe my favorite Metroid game, but Super and Zero Mission are still really high up there. And AM2R, to be honest. I need to play AM2R again. I need to stream Metroid Dread. I've never streamed it. Does Dread take place before or after this game? Dread is the very, very, very end of the timeline, if you're not familiar. Metroid 1, all of the Prime games, then Metroid 2, Super, Fusion, Dread. Dread is at the very end. That's another thing I have. The Prime games at this point to me kind of feel like fanfic. It's kind of like Metroid Prime 1 is like, let's make Super Metroid in 3D. Let's remake Super Metroid. Prime 2 and 3 are kind of like, let's remake Metroid Fusion. This is just, I don't know, here's my cool OCs meeting Samus, my self-insert OCs meeting Samus. And the games can't like do anything with Samus as a character or like change anything substantially about the world because they're trapped in this pocket of time before Metroid 2 because they need the Metroids to be alive. And everything after Metroid 2 kind of very linearly follows the narrative. You know, she kills all the Metroids, gets the baby, goes into Super Metroid, baby Metroid dies, Samus gets the X parasites in Fusion, the suit gets corrupted, you know, and then that leads directly into Dread with the new suit and the X parasites and the Metroid DNA and everything. So it's like the Prime games can't exist anyway. Oh yeah, Psylocke does nothing. Psylocke is a complete nothing character in this game. Sorry, I wanted to go into Vault Forge for something a little interesting. I think Vault Forge is a cool area, but again, it's just way too linear. And as I was sort of saying earlier about like my experience playing the game, like the first few areas I was like, this is fine. I don't have any like massive problems. It's too linear, it's too basic, but like it's okay. It's not too bad. And then you do like that. So you do Fury Green, Vault Forge, Ice Belt. Ice Belt at least had a cool... I don't know who that is. Hereupon XC, sorry. I don't know who that is. You do the ice belt area, which is a very boring area in terms of gameplay and stuff. Any returning characters? No. It's a very boring area gameplay-wise because you're just walking around scanning shit. And I remember I was saying out loud, like, really? This is what we're doing? But it at least had a really cool thing of, like, you're figuring out what the cryopods are there for and all the frozen, you know, ice and stuff. And then you turn on this generator, and then, like, the music comes on, and the whole place feels alive, and there's this warm light, and the ice is melting, and then the cryopods are opening up, and the grievers are coming out to get you, and it's like, ooh, that's kind of cool. But, like, then it's over, and they still didn't really, like, do anything with it. And it... Can I get that, please? Why isn't it letting me grab it? Hello? It's not letting me grapple the... Oh, now it is. This is how you kill everything in the game. You just, ice shot missile. Like, that's what I started doing after a while. Which, granted, not that different from the other games. But again, that's kind of the problem. Like, I have issues with the Metroid Prime games already. And this game just doesn't fix them. And then, yeah, after Ice Belt, it's like, oh, I think this is where I got the thing to upgrade the suit. So I had to come in all the way in here, do that, and then just leave. Okay, fucking, okay, why? Haven't they been building up Psylocke since Metroid 2 Remake? Long before that. Psylocke was introduced in Prime Hunters on DS, which I haven't played. I don't really care. That's another thing, like, Psylocke does nothing, that's a disappointment. But also, I didn't go in caring about Psylocke. I was like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I hope he's cool, but, like, I don't care. He was in Prime Hunters, he was in the post-credits... No, he was in, like, the 100% ending of Prime 3. His ship follows Samus. Yeah, the music is great in this game. He was teased in Federation Force and maybe some other game, I don't know. And now he's here in this game, and he does nothing. He's barely in it. And his motivation is just he seemed to dislike Samus before the like 100% ending cutscene thing you get anyway. Or you could buy the amiibo to watch that, which is really stupid. Can I say as well, the tutorial for the bike, this racetrack thing, is terrible. It's awful. It's so boring. Because I just thought, the whole time playing this game, whenever there was something I didn't like doing, I was like, man, I don't like this now, but imagine playing this game again and having to like, do this stuff, and not, like, again. Like, having to play through the bike tutorial, having to drive around the desert, having to go through these linear areas and, like, helping the companions get through and stuff. Like, I don't want to do that. It's, like, just tedious time wasting. I don't feel... So, you know, and, like, the stupid collectible thing of having to get all the green crystals to finish the game, just absurd. You know, I didn't like the artifact hunt in Prime 1 and Prime 2, and 3 was a little bit better with it. I didn't like that already, the Chozo artifacts. I haven't tried the 120Hz much. I've been playing 4K 60. But it was good. Like, the game's very stable, very performant, looks great, sounds great. That stuff's all fantastic. Lost my train of thought. What was I saying? About a power-up or something? I forgot. I don't think so. I think Metroid's a lot nicher than Sonic, so I think there's a bit more allowance to criticize it, but I have seen people kind of pushing back on, like, this game's great, I don't know what people are talking about, it's awesome. I'm like, well, I mean, I guess if you already thought the Metroid Prime trilogy... Like, Metroid Prime 3 has, like, a 90 on Metacritic or something. Let me check that. I was shocked when I saw that, because I do not think Prime 3 is very good. Oh, the boring test track, right. And the other tutorial stuff. Metroid Prime 3. Yeah, it has a 90 on Metacritic. Prime 3. Prime 3 is not very good. So that's why I'm like, if you love Prime 1, 2, and 3, especially 3, then, like, yeah, you'll probably love Prime 4, I guess. But, like, this is a spin-off series. Because, again, Metroid Prime... Look. Oh. When have I last played Dread? Where's Metroid Dread? There. That is mainline Metroid. Metroid Dread, that is Metroid 5. Metroid Prime is a sub-series. It is a spin-off. It is not the main series. But for the people who love Metroid Prime and love like the boring shit and seem to not really care if like the atmosphere is any good or you know anything like that, I'm like, yeah, you'll probably still like this, I guess. Like, it's just more Metroid Prime. The music in this area is so good. Like all the lightning and stuff looks cool. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff here. What do you think about Prime 2? I think it is almost, it's like just a little bit below the first one for me. Right, okay, I was gonna say the Chozo artifacts. In Prime 1, I don't like the Chozo artifact hunt, but at least if you know to look for them, if you're paying attention, if you're planning ahead, you can kind of like speedrun, route your way to getting all the Chozo artifacts without needing to backtrack. Like, you can go down the phase on Monans, get the last two, and it's like, that's it, you're done. Like, you can go and fight Ridley. And that feels great on a replay of Metroid Prime, of just getting them all done while you're playing the game. But the way this game works, like, you can't do that. You have to grind out these green crystals. Like, every time you play this game, you have to do this stupid green crystal grinding junk. Like, there's no room really for like sequence breaking or, you know, any cool stuff like that. There's no ability for the game to significantly change between playthroughs because it's so linear and hand-holding and guiding. And the movement is so restrictive, and the power-ups and stuff. Like, there's no, I don't know. And I guess a comparison point I could make is Bayonetta 3, right? That was, you know, another Switch game. It was announced in 2017. Took a very long time to come out. Clearly had problems. Game comes out, and I was very conflicted with it. You know, I cried at the end of Bayonetta 3. Not from like, oh, so great, but like I am so upset at this game. But Bayonetta 3 upset me on like a character story level. The gameplay I have issues with, but like it's still very good. Borderline great, Bayonetta 3, gameplay-wise. Especially now on Switch 2, it doesn't like drop frames all the time. Still looks ugly though. Bayonetta 3 upset me on a story level. Also, semi-related to that, I have this now. I have Bayonetta Origins. Cereza and the Lost Demon. It was like half price. And I was like, hey, these games never go on sale. I've been meaning to try it. I've heard it's good. You know, okay, half price, sure. I'll see what it's like. But yeah, Bayonetta 3 upset me on a story level. For the most part, because the character of Bayonetta was gone. But the game was still really good for the most part. Prime 4 is like disappointing me really heavily on a gameplay level. It's not, I don't have the emotional, like I felt a bit kind of bummed out yesterday, like, man, that like Prime 4, like that's it. Like, but I don't have the investment in the Prime series as much as I do Metroid as a whole. You know, Metroid as the 2D games, you know, that is Metroid to me. So I was always a little bit like, well, you know, if Prime 4 is not like amazing, whatever, but I would like it to at least be really good. But I was still pretty bummed, you know, I had to spend like $90 on this game, and that was on sale. That was like $20 off. Oh yeah, once you get the charged lightning shot thing, yeah, that just like kills everything. I used that on Psylux in the final boss a lot. Yeah, Bayonetta 3 like really upset me on like a narrative level. This game, when it was annoying me, it was just because the gameplay was boring. I was just like, oh my god, and like the characters talking, and I'm like, shut up. But I wasn't like sad. This game doesn't make me, okay, it makes me a little bit sad. It makes me like the kind of like, oh man, like really? The game isn't good? The game isn't bad, but it's not really good either. If you just want another Metroid Prime game with all of the same problems as the other ones, if you didn't care about those problems, then maybe you'll be fine with this. I'm not. Like, I really badly want... Like, the psychic stuff is just completely wasted. They don't do anything interesting with it. You know, the most you get is this stupid thing, really. Or you do, like, basic... Like, you open doors using the psychic visor with, like, Outer Wilds style dragging things in the world. And it's like, but that's so much slower than just this. I can just shoot at a door. Like, I gotta try Ultra Kill. Are you kidding me? I've played Ultra Kill. Are you insane? I've been playing that since it, like, first came out in early access. I haven't been keeping up with the updates because I'm waiting for the full game. But, like, I've played Ultra Kill. I've talked about it in videos before. I thought this already happened my first time, this elevator falling. I don't know why it's doing that again. But yeah, I considered, you know, well, maybe I'll play this game again on stream, and then, you know, I could form my opinion on it, and we can talk about it in chat, but I was like, I don't want to play it again, man, it's boring. It's really boring. Like, look at this riveting gameplay. You know? The boss fights, you just stand around, wait for the weak point, and then you attack. Like, it... Again, I'm not trying to be mad, or like, I love Metroid and I love the 2D games. Dread was fantastic, but this is just boring. Sorry, I meant to read my backlog review ages ago. Let me read that now. 3 out of 5. Good thing I never liked the Prime games that much compared to the far better 2D main series, because I'd be pretty upset right now. This was not a bad game, but it was a very boring and mediocre one. Amazing visuals and music wasted on an experience with nothing new or interesting to do. I have so much to say, but I feel I should collect my thoughts in a video or stream. This game is pretty much everything I worried it would be pre-release. In short, and I got dot points, no meaningful improvements to the already basic Prime formula, movement and combat is slow and boring, power-ups have almost no utility. The psychic stuff is totally wasted, most of the time it's used to slowly open doors, there's a typo there, that are less efficient than normal doors. I need to edit that. Where do I... Here we go. That are less efficient than normal doors. Awful boss fights where you stand around waiting for a weak spot to appear, just like the other Prime games. Terrible open world. It's not really open world. Terrible open world with awful... Oh, sorry. With awful fetch quests in the desert. Thankfully, there's no Korok-style puzzles, but otherwise it's exactly what I didn't want Metroid to become. It's like a parody. That's the thing, like, if you told me years ago, oh, you're going to be driving around on a bike in a big empty desert, and there's going to be Zelda-style shrines and stuff, I'd be like, fuck, what? Like, and there's going to be characters talking to me? Like, no way. No, come on. Don't be ridiculous. But, like, no, that's what happened. Annoying NPCs who are totally pointless. Why do I need to go back to base camp to get an upgrade I already picked up? Just a totally misguided choice that could have been easily avoided. Yeah, so like you get like these chips for the power beam, like the different shots, the ice shot, the thunder shot and stuff. You pick them up, but then you have to go back and give them to Miles McKenzie so he can put it in the arm cannon. Why can't Samus just do that? Why can't it just be like the other games? You just get the upgrade and it works. Like, it's ridiculous. It's so dumb. Story falls flat with no captivating moments or emotional arcs. Samus has barely any personality, a massive downgrade after Dread. She barely even emotes with her body, and you never see her eyes through the visor. Can I, just real quick, can I, like, open in the cutscene viewer? I don't know if it can, like, play something while I'm talking. The world is gated off in a way that does not suit Metroid. This makes backtracking abysmal and very arbitrary. Areas are just linear hallways. I never felt like I was exploring. I really liked some of the set-piece moments for the dungeons, like turning on the generator in the ice area, but I see no reason why these couldn't have still worked in a less linear, rigid game. Again, Dread kind of does that. Like, there's parts in Dread where, you know, there's like a mini little set-piece that changes the environment in some way or whatever, but you're still playing in a, you know, non-linear game. There's still, like, story moments and stuff. It can work. It's fine. And I finished by saying, thank God we have Metroid Dread already. I'd make a video on this game, but that would require me to replay it for getting footage and forming my notes properly, and I don't want to. It's so boring that I just do not want to play the game again anytime soon. This could be a 2.5 out of 5 instead of a 3 if I was feeling particularly annoyed. If Retro makes another Prime after this, I expect major overhauls to the fundamentals, but I already expected that here, and it didn't happen. Bring on Metroid 6. So that's my review on Backlogged that I wrote, like, on my phone after playing the game. Just trying to get some thoughts out. I don't really like the Viola suit either. I'm not crazy on it. Dude, in this artwork, he straight up looks like Rick Moranis, the actor, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Ghostbusters and stuff. Like, it just looks exactly like him. Psylocke is wasted, although he doesn't die, so maybe he'll come back. When, in the final cutscene, when all the characters like sacrifice themselves and Miles gets shot, I was like, yes! And Samus leaves them all behind, where Psylocke will, I guess, kill them, probably. And when you get the scene of Samus delivering the memory fruit at the end, I was like, what? Oh, right, like I forgot. I completely forgot about that. About the Le Mans, I wasn't even thinking about that. Like, what's that story? They found out that some of them had evolved into these bad things. They tried to save them, they couldn't do it. Oh well. Honestly, there are a few Outer Wilds parallels in this game. It's like a bad version of Outer Wilds in some ways. Especially the psychic stuff, the moving the objects. I'm like, in Outer Wilds, this isn't a puzzle, it's just a thing you do. Oh, when you have to fight the dogs out in the ice, it was just over and over, like, shoot them. I was like, when does this end? And then eventually I started losing health, and then something happened, and I couldn't tell if it was like I was supposed to fail that in order to progress. Like, I was supposed to get to a point where I was dying before the sniper guy would come in and save me. I don't know. Very strange. Yeah, this, like, the ice stuff was, like, thematically really cool. Gameplay-wise, was still really shallow and boring. And you're just walking around scanning until eventually you find a floating thing that makes a thing to open a door. Like, that was really weird. Oh! Okay, no one else has talked about this. In this boss fight, Samus loses the bike. This big, like, snake leviathan thingy, like, eats the bike. It blows it up. You can't use the bike. And then there's a part where its mouth is hanging open in the lava, and it looks like you're supposed to go into it. And I was like, am I supposed to go on the bike? But, like, I didn't have the bike. I couldn't do it. And you're supposed to fire the psychic beam into its mouth. But then the place starts blowing up. Samus is escaping. The other characters think she's going to die. And then she just gets out on the bike. And I'm like, but the bike blew up. Like, the thing ate the bike. What? She just got a new one? Like, how did that happen? Like, I could have maybe tolerated the game being really samey and just, Prime again, if at least, like, the level design was good. If I at least felt like I was exploring and discovering things and learning. But just doesn't really happen. Okay, so the opening's pre-rendered. I wondered if it was, because it looks really good. Oh, can I view, like, all the cutscenes? Oh, okay, that's neat. Yeah, it's pre-rendered. Okay, so that's why it looked so good. Dude, Smack, like, I think the Donkey Kong... I haven't played Returns, I played Tropical Freeze. I think Tropical Freeze is a way better game than any of the Prime games. I think Retro should keep making those. Not that I would love a good Metroid Prime game. I would love a Metroid Prime 5 that is like a complete overhaul. Like, it's still first person and everything, but we have the, the movement of like the new Doom games or something. I don't like, not that exactly, but Doom and like Titanfall, they brought back, like, and even like Dishonored and Prey and stuff, like controller console games with movement depth and cool powers and stuff. Like, we've done that. Why hasn't Metroid Prime caught up with that? Like, not even just the 2D Metroid games, but other 3D first-person console shooter adventure games with cool things in them. Why is Metroid Prime so far behind? I actually just started playing Ninja Gaiden 4 last night. Couch cushion. And it's already my favorite one. I've only played for like an hour, and I was like, yep, this is the best one. It's good. Is this part still pre-rendered? Is it playing like a pre-rendered version of the cutscene now? Without having to load the map? Yeah, okay. So I was thinking like that didn't look quite right. It's just like Silux's, yeah. Samus gets the, oh, that's all you see. Okay, I don't have the full thing. Samus gets these little glimpses of Silux, like, crazy backstory where he's just an idiot. Samus goes to help him and he's like, you blew up the thing I wanted. Do you like Pokemon? No. See, I love DMC and Ninja Gaiden. I wasn't a big fan of it. I wasn't a big fan of those games because they don't capture the same appeal as DMC to me. Didn't care for Bayonetta? Oh, that's a shame. Bayonetta's great. Sorry, there's so many things about this game where I feel like I should note it all down and do like a semi-scripted video on it, but I think this is gonna do it for now. It's just me getting it out there. I should wrap up the stream in a sec because I need to make dinner. I don't want to be on it for ages, but if anyone has any quick questions about the game, write them in the chat now so I can get to it before I go. Yeah, I apologize for anyone who's like watching this back not live and I'm like jumping around all these different points just because I have so much to say, so much bouncing around in my head. Yeah, I'm not like mad about this game. I'm not like, fuck Retro Studios, stupid. It just really feels like they didn't have any like cool ideas, or like they're just afraid of putting gameplay in. Like these games, Metroid Prime games are like glorified walking simulators. You know, if we're going to use that term as like a derogatory term against games, you kind of just walk around. You don't do anything cool with the movement and the combat. Like you just walk around and you shoot at stuff and you scan things. Also, the scan visor in this game, they don't like differentiate between like important scans, like the red scans or the blue scans and stuff from the other games, which is really annoying. So the whole time I'm like, is this important? Like, do I need to be scanning this? Too much stuff. There's like way too many things to scan. Do I recommend the Prime Trilogy? Look. Yeah, I guess. But Super Metroid, Zero Mission, Fusion, sort of, Metroid Dread, AM2R, those are Metroid games. Those are real deal Metroid games to me. Actually, that's something I want to say. I've heard a lot of people talking about how Retro, you know, they hired a bunch of new people, like these Western AAA devs and stuff who worked on Halo and everything, and they're kind of using that to blame the direction of this game. I don't want to perpetuate that argument. I'm not a big fan of that. I think if you look at the direction the Prime series has been going, it's always been sort of leading this way. I just hoped they weren't going to do this. I hoped this would be more of a return to Prime 1. Prime 1 and 2, and with more of the gameplay of the 2D games, kind of. That's what I wanted. But I don't think this is like, oh, some new guy came in and completely changed what Metroid is. I don't think that's the case. I think there's a through line between the Metroid Prime trilogy and then onto this game, especially Prime 3. Like, you can see the connection. Prime 3 was 18 years ago. You know, I don't think it's the cause of some new hires that this game turned out the way it did. We wondered why Prime Remaster was so beloved. Yeah, like it is very much the atmosphere is great kind of thing. It's like, wow, the atmosphere is so good. I love this game, even though the gameplay is not great. And like, that's fine. That's fine. But to anyone who thinks that I'm asking for too much by wanting the power-ups to actually do literally anything, just all I would ask is, how would the game be worse with power-ups that were fun to use? Because you watch someone playing Metroid Prime at the start of the game and at the end, they're playing identically. There's no difference. You look at Super Metroid from the start and the end, it's totally different. Samus is space jumping, screw attacking, shine sparking, all this stuff. There's no difference between, except like the weapon you shoot in Prime games, really. There's no difference. And I want that. So I just, to anyone who thinks I'm expecting too much with the Prime games, oh, you're not satisfied, like, please tell me how the game is better by having power-ups that do nothing. Like, please tell me how that improves the game by everything just being a key to open a lock. That is boring. Yeah, maybe I need to replay Prime 3 to, like, fully figure out sort of where I land on that stuff. I don't know. Again, yeah, please, anyone, if you have any last-minute questions, get them in before I go, because I'm hungry, I want to make dinner, and my girlfriend wants me to make dinner, because she's hungry, too. I don't want to take up a whole night. And I want to get back to playing Ninja Gaiden 4. And I bought all the original seasons of The Simpsons, and I'm rewatching all those now, so I'd like to do that, too. So I should play 2D Metroids? Absolutely. Start with Zero Mission. That's my recommendation. Game Boy Advance Zero Mission. It's a remake of Metroid 1. It's fantastic. It's short. It's not very hard. It guides you just a little bit. Guides you just a little bit. But not too much. And then play Super, play Fusion, Dread. Samus Returns on 3DS is fine. AM2R is great. The fan game. AM2R is really good. But yeah, just like, if I play this game again, it's just going to be the same thing. It's just going to be like 10, 12 hours of just walking around. I'm not going to be like, ooh, I know, I can get that missile expansion early. Like, no, I can't. Because the game is so lock and key. Ooh, I'm going to go here. No, I can't do that. Oh, I'm going to, like, do it in this different order or something. No, I can't do that. Like, this is gonna be the exact same game again. I'm gonna have to drive around and get all those crystals again. I'm gonna have to do the bike tutorial again. I'm gonna have to sit through the escort missions with all the different characters again. I have to do the mines again. I have to fight these bosses where I just stand around waiting for a weak point, or shooting that slow moving beam again. Like, it, I really don't want to sound like harsh. I didn't hate this game. I think there's a lot to love about it, but it's mostly in the aesthetic stuff, which, again, is kind of how I feel about the other Prime games, so it's just, like, it's really disappointing. But, again, we have Metroid Dread, and that was a way bigger deal to me. Like, Metroid Dread, I was like, oh my god, like, I had the reaction of me, like, freaking out over that game getting announced. I mean, I freaked out over Prime 4 as well, but that was when we hadn't had Metroid in forever. But I was like, we already knew Prime 4 was coming, and then Dread comes along, Metroid 5, holy fuck. So then I was like, well, if Prime 4 sucks, like, well, I mean, whatever, I got my real Metroid fix instead. Yeah, these Metroids, you see one in a cutscene, that's it, for the whole game. Have I played Sin and Punishment? No, but I would like to. I need to play more shmups. Don't know which game to start with? Start with Zero Mission on the GBA. Metroid Zero Mission. Or you could play like Prime 1 or like, Prime 1 is not like a bad intro to the series, I guess, but I don't like the way people treat Metroid Prime as the main series, just because it's 3D and it's first person, and oh, it's more important. No. 2D Metroid is Metroid. Prime is a spin-off series that may as well not even be canon. Other than the fact that, like, Ridley is rebuilt as Meta Ridley, and then, like, Proteus Ridley and Samus Returns and stuff, which was stupid, he shouldn't have been in that game. Other than that, like, the Prime series doesn't matter. It's just a retread of Super Metroid and Fusion, narratively. Again, like, the SAX is, Dark Samus is just the SAX, again, really. Like, Man, what a cool design. I wouldn't be against if they brought him back for another game and he actually did something. He's barely in this game at all. Do I think Retro can make a new Prime game? Sure, but they need to actually put a game in it next time. Outside of Other M, is this my least favorite Metroid game? It's, at the moment, it's on par with Prime 3, but I think it's a little below that. But yeah, Other M is still, I mean, I haven't even played Other M. I've only played like a little bit of it. And I was just like, eh. Obviously, the story's terrible, but the gameplay was kind of like, whatever. I'd rather play a better action game. That's my thing. Like, Metroid Prime is, first-person adventure game, a bit of platform, bit of combat, exploration, puzzles and stuff. But it's like, if I wanted a linear action game, I would play Doom or whatever. Doom has more exploration than this. like hunting for secrets in the new Doom games. There's more exploration going on than this game. If I wanted an open world game, I'd play a different game. I'd play Red Dead, or I'd play Breath of the Wild, or Tears of the Kingdom, or something, and I have issues with those games too. And if I wanted an actual Metroid game where I explore, I would play the other Metroid games, because this is not doing it for me. Or I'd play Dishonored or Prey or something. I'd play an immersive sim that actually gave me cool powers and a world to explore and things to find and mechanical things to do. Prime games take place between 1 and 2, and they had literally zero effect. It's still debated if these games are like even canon to the 2D series. Because like Metroid 1 is canon to Prime. They reference Zebus and Mother Brain and the Space Pirates and Ridley and everything. But the Prime games may as well not even exist to the 2D games. Even in Metroid Dread, it shows like the artwork of the other games. Like there's no Prime in there. It's only like Zero Mission, Samus Returns, Super, Other M, Fusion, and Dread, because those are the real Metroid games. And I'm not trying to dismiss all the hard work of the Prime games. I think they're like tremendous achievements. On a technical level especially, but this one just... Yeah, they just didn't... I don't know. They didn't get it. And again, it's not bad. I'm not saying like, don't play it, this game sucks, you'll hate it. Like, it's... For the first half of the game, it's fine. Other M is not a real Metroid game, but it is narratively at least way more tied in to the other ones, and Samus actually plays more like Samus in that game. She's fast and agile. In Prime, she's very slow. Did I think Retro could make a new Donkey Kong game? I would prefer that at this point. I mean, I would want both. I want a new Donkey Kong game because I know it'll be good, and I'd like a new Prime game, provided they heavily change the fundamentals. Heavily. And don't put in all the stupid shit this time. Let Samus actually... If Samus is gonna have all these dumb characters around, let her actually speak a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a few lines. Dread had an amazing moment where she spoke Chozo. She had one line of Chozo. That was sick as hell. You know, there are ways to do these things. I feel like I had one other thing I wanted to say. I've forgotten. I'm really curious what happened with the Bandai Namco stuff, like the pre-Retro Studios. Like, how bad was it before that? Like, and how much crossover is there between the original version and this? I don't know. We'll probably never know. We'll probably never know. My worry is if Prime 4 doesn't sell well, they'll put the series on hiatus again despite Dread selling well. Yeah, see, I was wondering that too, but then I'm also like, hey man, if Dread is still the best-selling Metroid game, what does that say? What does that tell Nintendo? Make more games like Metroid Dread. That's what I want. I want Metroid 6. Probably will still be at least a few years away, but what my dream now is Metroid 6, Mercury Steam, like another follow-up with that. Probably have like Samus has like cool new Metroid powers, like a whole new set of power-ups that's like Metroid inspired because she's got Metroid DNA. And I want the visual polish of Prime 4 and the music, because the music in Dread's bad. I want that polish, but in a really good like 2D Metroid 6. Or like you could try a 3D game with that style of movement and platforming and stuff. I don't know, like another Other M style thing. I'd be kind of okay with that. Give Samus like actual cool combos and stuff. Maybe if you want to use like the Team Ninja like third person combat again. Maybe I would be willing to hear that out. Looking forward to the imminent Frontiers 2 announcement. It's probably just gonna be Team Sonic Racing, Sonic Racing cross promotion announcement. I don't know. Yeah, Game Awards on Friday. Yeah. Mario Kart should have won best soundtrack. And Silk Song's my game of the year at this point. Doom and Ninja Gaiden 4 are probably best action game for me. The other categories I don't really... Yeah. Oh, and then like Kirby's not nominated because it came out after, but like Kirby's the best racing game. Like party racing family game, you know? for the year and for Switch 2 for sure. Kirby's great. All right, guys, I gotta call it. I need to make dinner. My girlfriend's gonna kill me if I don't go to do that. So, I'm sorry for the short stream, but the late stream, I wasn't planning on being on for very long. Yeah, Prime 4, it's not a bad game. I could talk about it for hours more. I'll probably talk about it next time we stream. Maybe I'll play Metroid Dread. I have not played Expedition 33. No, it's an RPG. I don't like RPGs. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll stream Metroid Dread or a bit of Prime 4 like over the Christmas holidays when I have time. Just as something to do. But yeah, thank you for coming. It's a shame that Prime 4 wasn't great. Again, not bad, just not very good. Yeah. All right. Thank you.